This evening, $4 billion approved to improve operations of GPL. Missing farmer found afloat in Essequibo River. President Ali seeks to revive the sugar industry. In the region, Cuba oil depot fire enters third day as injury toll mounts. And internationally, Kenya voters hope election ushers in corruption crackdown. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Today, the National Assembly approved $4 billion to improve operations at Ghana Power and Light. The money formed part of a $44.8 billion financial paper, which was presented to the National Assembly today for supplementary funding. Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh, presented the financial paper explaining the need for supplementary funding for the entity. Singh said the $4 billion investment is intended to improve the operations of the power company to better serve the Guyanese people. He said when the government took office in 2020, GPL was one of several state-owned enterprises found to be bankrupt. The Power and Light Company was owed more than $12 billion from other public sector entities. It was pointed out that the Ghana Forestry Commission and Ghana Water Incorporated were among the public sector entities that owed GPL billions. Since taking office, the government has invested heavily to improve the operations of GPL and to provide a more reliable electricity supply. The commissioning of GPL's 46.5 megawatt power plant, Garden of Eden East Bank Demerara, was one of such investments which cost US $52 million. GPL has also been exploring and rolling out several initiatives to improve customer service. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali said his administration is seeking to revive Ghana's sugar industry and will meet with the Sugar Corporation's management this week to address the major issues. The president told reporters on the sidelines of an event in Buxton on Saturday that his main concern is working to revive the Ghana Sugar Corporation, make it viable, and make it economically and financially feasible. For this reason, he said, it is not just about financial feasibility, it is also about economic feasibility and how it is integrated into the entire community. Recent internal issues among the management and members of the board led to the resignation of Gaisuco's board vice chairman Anthony Vera. President Ali said he intends to meet all parties this week to have a dialogue. Since taking office, the government has heavily invested in making the sugar industry economically viable. Under the previous administration, several sugar estates were closed. However, the government, upon returning to office, has been working to reopen estates and have begun rehiring workers who were made redundant. The body of a missing farmer was discovered afloat in the Essequibo River. The Ghana Police Force believes there has been foul play, as the source explains.
Police in Region Division 3 is reporting the suspected murder of a farmer and boat captain whose decomposed body was discovered floating on the Essequibo River. The dead man has been identified as a 35-year-old Romeo Randolph of Tushin, West Coast, Demerara. Initial inquiries disclosed that Randolph stayed alone at Hog Island, where he does farming, but made weekly visits to his reputed wife and children at Tushin. His family last saw him in person on July 29th, but spoke with him via telephone on the afternoon of August 4th. Later that evening, the man's wife received a call from his neighbor informing her that Randolph's boat was found floating in the river, but he was not seen. She went to his home at Hog Island, where she observed nothing amiss. His boat and engine were intact at the neighbors after being recovered from the river. The woman made further checks in the area for her husband but did not locate him. She subsequently filed a missing persons report. However, on Sunday, August 7th, around 8 a.m., Randolph's decomposing body was seen floating in the Essequibo River. Police said that his hands and feet were bound with yellow rope. His head was covered with a black plastic bag, which was duct-taped, and 115 HP outboard engine was tied to his body. The engine was identified by his wife as belonging to Randolph. His body was taken to Lenora Cottage Hospital, where he was officially pronounced dead by a doctor on duty, and taken to the Ezekiel Funeral Home awaiting a post-mortem examination. Several persons have been questioned as investigations are in progress. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Stick around after the break. Former local cricketer dies in motorcycle accident on the east bank of Berbice, and Berbice woman was tragically killed by her ex-husband.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Police ranks in Region 6 are investigating the circumstances surrounding the fatal stabbing of a 24-year-old woman at Quarantine Berbice earlier today, Monday, August 8th. The dead woman has been identified as Cindy Ramchandar of number 47 Village, Quarantine Berbice. According to reports, Ramchandar was allegedly fatally stabbed by her ex-husband Suraj Gangpat of Cumberland Village, East Kanji Berbice. Headline News understands that Ramchandar and her ex-husband recently separated. The two got married over a year ago and had been living at Gangpat's parents at Cumberland, East Kanji Berbice. They were experiencing marital problems, and about 2 months ago, Ramchandar moved out and went to live with her aunt at the number 47 Village, Quarantine. According to a source, the man confronted the woman in the village this morning and the two were heard and seen arguing. While arguing, the man whipped out a knife and stabbed Ramchandar. He then entered a motor car and fled the scene. The police were subsequently summoned. Reports said that Gangpat attacked Ramchandar 2 months ago with a knife and she had sustained injuries to her arm. It was further stated that the matter was reported to the police, but Gangpat was never arrested. Investigations are currently ongoing as police are in pursuit of the suspect. Also in Region 6, a former cricketer was killed in a motorcycle accident at Berbice East Bank. Esther Sobers has more details.
Police are investigating the fatal accident of a 25-year-old resident of Glasgow, Greater New Amsterdam, Region 6, who lost his life following a motorcycle accident during the wee hours of Sunday, August 7th. Dead is Clifton John Lindy, a sales representative of the Denrar Distillers Limited Berbice branch. Lindy reported he lost control of his motorcycle after a tire blew out as he was on his way home. According to reports, Katrina Lindy, the sister of the deceased, said that her brother left his friends around 1 a.m. after hanging out in New Amsterdam and was making his way home. She continued that while in the vicinity of Providence East Bank Berbice, the front wheel of his motorcycle blew out and he lost control and ended up in a nearby trench where he received injuries and subsequently died. Police helped with the transport of Lindy's body to the hospital after they arrived on the scene. Lindy was a dedicated sports fan and a former local cricketer who belonged to the Tushborough Park Cricket Club. His body is currently at a funeral home awaiting a postmortem examination. An investigation into the accident is in progress. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Rescuers in Mexico battled to free 10 trapped coal miners, and Kenya voters hope election ushers in corruption crackdown.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material with 4-wheeled spinners and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. A massive fire is still burning at a fuel storage facility near Cuba's main power station after lightning struck a fuel tanker on Friday night, Al Jazeera's Ed Agustin reports.
An inferno still rages at the Antonio Guterres power plant, the most crucial in the country. On Friday night and Saturday morning, the fire had spread to a second tank, triggering a series of explosions. Yusney Sarmiento was hosing down the second tank just seconds before it exploded.
I let go of the hose, and when I started running, I got tied up in the hose and fell on the floor. But the fire engine had already started moving away, and I held on to it. That's what got me out of there. My other colleagues couldn't get away.
One firefighter has been confirmed dead. Another 16 are missing. Their colleagues haven't been able to get close enough to retrieve their bodies. Over 100 were injured. President Miguel Díaz-Canel visited some in hospital over the weekend. This could not have come at a worse time for Cubans who are already living through chronic power cuts. The war in Ukraine has driven up the price of global gas, and US sanctions on oil tankers, which were part of the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign against the island, are still in place, driving up the cost of energy. Then there's the state of the country's energy grid, which hasn't received enough maintenance in decades, causing frequent power blackouts. Do you have power cuts several times a week?
Absolutely, and sometimes 3 times a day. In this zone, the power cuts out frequently. Today, we haven't had any, but yesterday we had 2 during the day. But you've got to adapt and see whether the country can resolve the situation.
Help came from Mexico and Venezuela, both sending specialists, helicopters, and chemicals to extinguish the flames.
The support in the prevention of risks and also help to suffocate the fire by means of cooling with water and foam. We hope that more support will arrive soon, as well as the chemical material needed to help us.
On Sunday afternoon, firefighters put out the fire in one of the supertankers. But the blaze continued in the second tanker. Late Sunday night, there was a huge explosion that could be seen 50 miles away in Havana, in the capital. The smell of sulfur. Ed Agustin, Matanzas, Al Jazeera.
Rescue crews in Mexico are racing against time to save 10 coal miners who have been trapped in a flooded coal mine, Al Jazeera's Leah Hardin reports.
Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has urged crews to intensify their efforts to rescue 10 miners trapped underground. Families are waiting on the surface for good news that hasn't come yet.
The president thanked the workers and asked them to redouble their efforts to be able to find the miners alive. We stress that time is short and that we need to do what is necessary.
For more than 4 days, rescue workers have been trying to pump water out of the coal mine, which flooded on Wednesday. 5 miners were able to escape, but no contact has been made with the men left behind. More than 300 soldiers and other personnel, including 6 military scuba divers, have joined the effort. For those above ground, the only thing to do is pray.
We trust in God's mercy and we believe in miracles, and these families have faith. Prayer is the only thing that strengthens us in these times of distress.
Doctors are on standby in case of a breakthrough, trying to offer some comfort to anxious families.
In this situation, our patients sometimes don't need medication so much. What they often need is for you to come in, tap them on the shoulder, and motivate them, to give them a bit of reassurance in the midst of all the uncertainty they're dealing with. A little bit of attention goes a long way.
Mexico's main coal-producing region has seen a series of fatal mining accidents over the years. The worst was in 2006, killing 65 people. Only 2 of the bodies were retrieved. There is still a chance for these 10 miners, but with every hour that passes, hopes of finding them alive are fading. Leah Hardin, Al Jazeera.
Kenyans will head to the polls to choose a successor to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Al Jazeera's Huru Matasa reports.
This is ugali, made from Kenyan staple unga or maize meal. Like most basics here, its price has gone up. And because of shortages, it's not easy to find.
If things continue this way, more businesses will close. We are facing a lot of challenges.
Corruption, foreign debt, rising inflation and unemployment are big election issues. And all candidates have promised to cushion households against the increasing cost of living. 4 politicians are running for the presidency. David Mwaure, a lawyer and pastor. George Wajakoya, a law professor. William Ruto, Kenya's deputy president, and Raila Odinga, a former prime minister. But opinion polls suggest there are 2 frontrunners.
It is about changing the economy.
Ruto, the current deputy president, who describes himself as a hustler and hopes his rags to riches story will resonate with the poor. And Odinga, who's making his 5th bid for the top job. The veteran opposition leader is the son of Kenya's first vice president and enjoys the backing of current leader Uhuru Kenyatta. It's an election some analysts say will be hotly contested. Kikuyus, the largest ethnic group in Kenya, have no presidential favorite this time. However, both Ruto and Odinga have chosen Kikuyu running mates. In a country where ethnic voting blocks are important, a divided Kikuyu vote means this election could go either way. There are already claims and counterclaims of sabotage and vote rigging. More than 1,000 people died in the 2007 elections.
What happens with Kenya's geopolitical significance is that it just that tension sort of begins to shake up the stability of the Great Horn of Africa and the larger East Africa. So that's what, and there's a lot of international organizations that are based here. So Kenya is very strategic from a global perspective, and that's what the international community is looking at. The business community is basically just sitting on the edge of their seats trying to figure out whether this is going to go peacefully or not.
Unlike some previous votes, there's been less pre-election violence. Kenyans generally have confidence in the judiciary. Many hope if the results are disputed, candidates will resolve their differences in court and not the streets. Haru Mutasa, Al Jazeera, Nairobi.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Update. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.